Go back to China. Go back to your fucking country. Michael Rohr was a journalist and an editor at the New York Times. Encountered this racial discrimination against him simply because he is Asian. This happened when he was shopping downtown New York City with his family, and then a well-dressed white lady yelled at him in public with the sentence I just mentioned previously. He was shocked. The phrase Asian discrimination hasn't been brought up in public for years. But you know what? It is a thing, and it is going on. So Michael started a trend on Twitter called #ThisIs2016 to encourage Asian Americans who have faced similar discriminations against them simply because of their race to share, to post, to tweet about this. And these tweets came up. She was discriminated simply because of her Asian look. #ThisIs2016. What about him? He was discriminated simply because the language that he speaks. #ThisIs2016. What about him? He was discriminated simply because of his ancestry. Despite the fact that his family actually fought for the United States during the Vietnam War. And #ThisIs2016. And what about her? She was discriminated simply because of her Asian last name. #ThisIs2016. And what about her? She was discriminated simply because of no reason. #ThisIs2016. As someone who has lived in the United States for 4.5 years, and I'm in college, maybe potentially in the future seek citizenship in the United States, I'm concerned about my future in this country because of the discrimination and lack of awareness in the public against me, against people like me. I'm not here today to accuse anyone or to condemn anyone, but I'm here to tell you that Asian discrimination is a thing, and there is something that we can do about it. So let's go through some facts first. Before that, let me share with this. I remember when I was in North Carolina, my first year in the United States. As the only Chinese and first Chinese student in my class, I was treated somehow differently than my peers. Despite the fact that people were waiting in line trying to touch my hair and feel like how silky Asian hair is, or to figure out if the color black would ever fall off. And despite the fact that I was asked, "When do you stand an iPhone? Do your parents work in factories? Did you sneak out of your country illegally?" The most shocking moment I experienced was when one of my classmates walked to me, talked in gibberish for a minute, and then asked, "Hey Gabby, did any of what I just said sound like the language Asian?" I was embarrassed. Well, for him. But this is going on, and the overgeneralization of Asian population is a thing. So now, let's look at the facts. The continent of Asia covers more than 17 million square miles. Yes, it is gigantic. And also, it has more than 4 billion population. Yes, it covers more than half of the country. And Asia includes 48 countries. And I'm sure people from these 48 countries do not speak the language Asian. So let me ask you, close your eyes and picture an Asian face in your phone. Ready? Now open your eyes. Does it look like him? What about them? What about them? But now that they're Asian, she's Asian. So is he. She's Asian. So is she. She's Asian. And so is she. But the thing is, when we talk about Asian, people always automatically think that Asians have dark hair, yellow skin, small eyes. Yes, Chinese, Korean, Japanese people are Asian. But what about people from Mongolia, people from Malaysia, people from Singapore, people from Iran, from Pakistan, from Israel, they are also Asians. So why do we overgeneralize them? Or us? But as a fun fact, the word Asian in the UK actually commonly refers to the Muslim community. But here in the US, nobody knows, or the majority is not aware that discrimination against people from Middle Eastern, Muslim from Middle Eastern, is a type of Asian discrimination. And because of that, because of the overgeneralization, stats in the United States can be skewed, can be biased, can be misleading. Just like this graph shows, it says 49% of Asian Americans receive a bachelor's degree or even higher education. Comparing to the 28% of the average American, it's pretty good. But what are the facts? Well, 35% of Cambodian Americans drop out of high school. 38% of Laotian Americans drop out of high school. And 40% of Hmong Americans drop out of high school and never get a chance to even go into college. But what about those that are entitled as the modern minority because of their work ethic and performance in academics? I'll have another story. This friend of mine, on the day she received her SAT score, well, she got a 2340, she decided to retake it. Why? Because of the unhealthy competition among her friends. They betted on her grades saying, hey Cindy, if you get more than 2350, we'll treat you with free lunch. Maybe you guys have heard of the A-minuses and Asian F. But why? Yes, it is because of the pressure they put on themselves, but also because of the discrimination about the stereotypes that's being put on them. But what happens when we step into the workplace in the future? Well, Asian people are commonly entitled as good at math, good at engineering, good at technology, good at science. But the research here shows that people work at Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, these tech companies. A third of the engineers are Asian. But when we're talking about executive level, only 10% of Asian Americans actually can hold office. And this can be a problem. And this is a problem. And also when we talk about average income per capita, the overall average for Americans is 31,000, but for Asians, 24. But nobody wants to talk about the unemployment rate. Nobody wants to talk about the poverty rate among Asians. Nobody wants to talk about the immigration issues among Asians. Why? Because this group has been titled as the modern minority, as the successful group. That's why on one of the tweets of the hashtag 2016, there was a guy posted saying, there's nothing wrong with Asians, they're pretty successful. But how do we approach this overgeneralization? How do we face this as the younger generation who's going to go out there and lead the world? If and only if we approach each individual and understand their authenticity. If and only if we understand with sincerity, we approach with sincerity. If and only if we keep an open mind to embrace integration. If and only if we understand, we approach with the appreciation of the work that they've done here. If and only if we stand on this common belief as a nation, then we can say we do advocate the true equality. And then we can advocate, we can say, we can claim that we stand under the same dream of Martin Luther King, that we do not judge people by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Then we can stand together, and claim that we're equal with a big hashtag. This is 2016.